Yo guys, Joey River up here, coach of the Empoleon Emperors, bringing you my week 1 match of the BLU versus Shiny Eevee. He's coach of the Nebraska Bisharps. He has a lot of threats right now out of the bat. He has the Haxorus, he has the Entei, he has the Mega Sableye, he has the Lycanroc. I don't know why his sprite doesn't come up. It doesn't come up even in the actual replay. I don't know why. I have refreshed the page tons of times and it just doesn't wants to show up. So sorry about that. And he also has the Skarmory, which is a great defensive wall. But so yeah, let's see what how we did in this match. So I decided to lead with my Clefable, thinking he might want to lead with the Sableye, which was a pretty solid lead in my opinion. But he decides to lead with Entei. So I decided to go into my Regirock here because this is my dedicated switch into this thing. As he decides to go to Substitute, and that was pretty weird right off the bat. But I can just break it with a Rock Slide as he Calm Minds. And this is his Sea Captain, so I was saying in my mind, okay, he's gonna go for the Bloom Doom. There's no way he's not gonna go for the Bloom Doom. And he does go for the Bloom Doom, as you can see. And that one-shots me. I had some special defense investments. I thought I could took it. And I also should have put a Sturdy on this. I went for Clear Body. I should have gone with Sturdy. It's just a better ability for a support Regirock. But it just didn't cross my mind. I just like put the moves in Regirock. Didn't thought too deeply on the ability. But that's okay because I get to go into my Mega Glade, Mega Evolve, and a close combat definitely knocks this Entei out. So that's one big threat out of the way. As he goes for Cresselia, I just go into my Clefable Angelica. As he decides to sub, and that's completely fine because I am unaware. I can take on the Cresselia one-on-one all the time. So he decides to switch here as I go for a Calm Mind, and he decides to go for the Lycanroc. And I decide to switch here. I could have taken a Stone Edge, but I really didn't want to. Clefable was too important in this matchup. So I decided to go into my Mega Glade because he really can't touch me. As he goes for the Stealth Rocks, I go for a knockoff. I was expecting him to switch to the Sableye, the Cresselia, or the Skarmory. But he decides to stay in as I see he has Focus Sash, as you can see here. And he goes for Reversal, which is pretty weird. And he also has Sucker Punch. As I finish him off with a close combat. So I was thinking, yeah, he texts me, how did you not go for CC? I was thinking that his plan was to leave close combat with the Focus Sash, go for Reversal, almost knock me out, and then kill me with a Sucker Punch. I think that was his plan, but thank God I went for knockoff, right? So yeah, as he goes next for the Sableye, I go into my Angelica. The Angelica can take hits from Sableye for days. As he goes for Willow and he misses, I don't really think that mattered too much because I based a lot of my plays on whether or not he was gonna Toxic, and you'll see soon enough. I go for a Moonblast here as he goes for the Skarmory. He takes that. As well as he took that Moonblast in the cogs, I know he's specially defensive. So I decided to switch here as he decides to switch in too. I was fearing the Toxic, so I go into Mistress, my Salazzle. And he goes into Sableye, so I double back into my Clefable Angelica as he goes for a Hidden Power. And I took that like a fucking champ that I am. I go for a Calm Mind, and he goes for Knockoff. Now the Willow might be annoying if he decides to go for it, but I have Moonlight, so I don't really mind that at all. So I decided to go for another Moonblast here as he decides to go for the Skarmory. And yeah, I switch here because I was fearing the Toxic again. I really didn't want my Clefable to get Toxic, as he went for Taunt, and I went back to my Salazzle Mistress, and I get a free Flamethrower off, which is amazing, to the Cresselia. So what I decided to do here is I could have gone for the Toxic here, but I was fearing he might wanted to double on the Sableye. So I decided to switch into Angelica because it's the safer play. As he decides to sub and he's wait. As he is whittling down his Cresselia on his own, which is great for me, I decided to go for a Moonlight because I need my Clefable to be healthy. I need my Clefable to be as healthy as possible. And he decides to go for Moonblast, and I decide to Calm Mind here. Poison Jab, if he was Life Orb, Poison Jab didn't kill at this range. But if he was Banded, it killed. And I really didn't want to risk that. So I decided to go to my physically defensive Mandibus. As he decides to sub, he has sub on almost every mon in his team, and goes for Dragon Dance. So I decided to foul play here, and he could have gone for Outrage and possibly kill me, but if he locked himself into Outrage, I just go into my Clefable and Moonblast. So I decided to stay in and just foul play, in case he wanted to go for another move. And he does switch, and he ends up switching to the Sableye. And I said, okay, this gives me a chance to defog. So I do defog these rocks away, which is really good for my Salazzle and my Kyurem too. So I decided to switch here because I really can't touch this thing. Oh, sorry. I really can't touch this thing. So I go into my Salazzle as he decides to taunt again. And that's completely fine by me. I get another Flamethrower off. This time into the Haxorus. So I decided to switch because I really can't do anything to this. And I go back into my Mandibus to eat up any hit. And I do. So he decides to switch here. And I could have gone for a foul play, but I really wanted to go for the U-turn to get the momentum. It was a risky play, but it paid off. And I went to my Clefable and fire up another Moonblast. I really didn't mind if the Skarmory switches in. I can whittle him down a little bit. And as he decides to go for the Iron Head, and that really threw me off. I thought he was gonna be a Brave Bird, but I do go for the Flamethrower and get a crit. So sorry about that, Eevee. Yeah, that mattered. So sorry about that, but I decided to switch into my Salazzle to because I knew he was gonna roost. There's no way he wouldn't. So I go into Salazzle again and throw another big Flamethrower off. This time into the Haxorus again. It was a roll whether this was gonna kill or not, but I decided to take the chances anyway, and I do take it. So Salazzle takes a kill, which makes me really happy. As he decides to go into Crest, and I get the Toxic on this thing, which is amazing. As he Moonblasts, so I decide to go for the Anchor here. He really can't touch me. With he really can. I mean, what I mean is that he doesn't do much damage with Moonblast because it's quite resistive. So I decided to stay in Encore and just whittle this thing down as best as possible. And I end up doing that. And I keep firing off Flamethrowers. He keeps Moonblasting me. And I think that, yeah, the Toxic finishes the Cresselia off here. As he decides to go to Sableye, I decided to switch to keep a differential. As he goes for the knockoff. And really Sableye can't touch my Clefable. Not even a little bit. I go for Moonlight here to keep my Angelica healthy, as he goes for the Skarmory, and I decided to go into Ice Cube because I knew I could take an Iron Head from this Pokemon easy. And at this point I decided to go for the Ice Beam. Sorry. Go for the Ice Beam into the Mega Sableye. And I get a freeze. It really didn't matter because I outspeed and finish him off with another Ice Beam. As he goes for a Skarmory again, his last mon of course. I go into the Ice Beam. It does 45%. So this so the next one probably didn't kill, but since I got a crit, I killed the Skarmory there. So sorry about that hacks again, Eevee. But that's the game. We won Eevee with 5-0, which is an amazing differential. My next match is against Mega Oshawott. So there will be a team builder for that, so stay tuned for that. Joey River up, out.